So we are getting started with the first century BC, and I'm going to start a timer so I don't rant too long. All right, so the first century AD. Okay, we're done with before Christ or before Common Era. Now it's the first century. So everything that's happening from year zero, or rather year one. There is no year zero. All the way to year 100. This is often, let's just see. Okay, so the first century is considered part of the classical era, epoch. The Roman Empire, Han China, and Parthian Persia are the most powerful and hegemonic states. Okay, hegemonic, let's look it up. Hegemony is a political, economic, and military predominance of one state over other states. Predominance. So hegemony is political, economic, and military predominance of one state over other states. So essentially, so Roman Empire, Han China, and Parthian Persia are the most powerful hegemonic states. Okay, getting into this. During this century, the Roman Empire, ruled by the Julio-Claudian and Flavian dynasties, continued to be a period of relative stability known as the Pax Romana. Okay, so, let's continue the sentence. So let's just start it over and continue it. During the century, the Roman Empire, ruled by the Julio-Claudian and Flavian dynasties, continued to be in a period of relative stability known as the Pax Romana, withstanding a financial crisis in 33 and a civil war in 69. So the last century saw the transition from republic to empire, and these empires are ruled by dynasties. So I guess, dynasty is usually the father bequeathing the empire to his son, next in kin. So I'm assuming the Julian and Claudian and Flavian are two different bloodlines which have dynasties. In Europe, Rome expanded into Britain and fought wars in Germania and Dacia. Okay, Britain, we know, those are the islands, the British Isles, and Germania is, I'm assuming, kind of the areas of Germany. And what is Dacia? Dacia is a area that seems to me, is that called the Balkans, that area? No, it's kind of like above Greece, above, I guess, what is that, like Croatia? So that's, if you're looking at the map that if you're watching this, then you'll see kind of, it's this orange region. In Africa, Rome was challenged by Tissaphernes, who led his own Musalami tribes. Never even heard of these. These are, this is Numidia. So this is in Africa. And a loose changing coalition of other Berber tribes before being defeated in 24. In Western Asia, Rome defeated a Jewish rebellion between 66 and 73 and fought a war with Parthia from 58 to 63. Each of these have their own like Wikipedias. So war with Parthia and a war with the Jews, or with it says the Jewish revolt. In Eastern Asia, the Chinese Western Han Dynasty was overthrown and replaced by the Qin Dynasty in the year 9, in which in turn faced its own rebel movements, namely the Red Eyebrows and Lulin, and was replaced by the Eastern Han in 25. We have a lot more details about what's going on in China. I'm going to jump past that and jump into this paragraph here about the West. So the century saw the organization of Christianity from Palestine. So I guess after year 0 is the birth of Christ, Jesus Christ, the prophet, the big prophet in Christianity. the center saw the origination of Christianity, this religion that would grow to be a very predominant religion in the entire world to this day. In the early 30s, Roman governor Pontius Pilate sentenced Jesus to crucifixion. So Jesus to crucifixion is like I'm getting this image of Jesus on the cross, which is huge. It's a huge part of Christianity, the death of him. So this happens in the early 30s. Okay, so so year 0 is, I guess, the beginning of Jesus. Like Jesus was born, I guess the early 30s, he dies. He dies as a young man. His suffering and redemptive death by crucifixion become the central aspect of Christian theology concerning the doctrines of salvation and atonement. Anti-Jewish riots broke out in Alexandria in 38. In 64, the Great Fire of Rome destroyed 2/3 of the city. So we have huge fire in Rome, precipitating the empire's first persecution of Christians, which were blamed for the disaster. Oh my gosh. I'm going to click into this because there's a really cool thumbnail picture of like a lion and gladiators clicking into it. More for later. Later in year 70, the siege and subsequent sack of Jerusalem and the Second Temple during the First Jewish-Roman War marked a major turning point in Jewish history. The loss of Mother City and Temple necessitated a reshaping of Jewish culture to ensure its survival. Judaism, which is, I guess, the religion of Jews, Judaism's temple-based sects, they're temple-based, included the priesthood and Sadducees, diminished in importance. Sadducees is, what is that? I don't know. Second Temple Judaism came to an end, while a new form of Judaism became known as Rabbinic Judaism. I think I'm saying that right. Developed out of Pharisaic school. Okay, another, I guess, type of Judaism. Furthermore, the White Horse Temple, the first Buddhist temple in China, is created. Moving on. Several natural disasters. Okay, so this last one is talking about natural disasters. Let's just see if there's big ones. Okay, we see a large earthquake. And okay, so this is I am going to talk about this one. So in 79, Mount Vesuvius violently spewed forth a deadly cloud of superheated gases and molten rock, and it destroyed Pompeii. Whoever's been to Italy, who's maybe visited in Pompeii or who's heard of it, it's there are really people that have been like preserved in, not really in, I think it's, their outlines have been preserved in stone, and then like they were cast, so we have like castings of people that have died. Okay, we made it into the 1st century. That's all for today. See you guys on the next one.